Okay, and we're back. Hello, and welcome to the stream. We're gonna keep on rolling. I'm gonna skip. I think I have Troy's in the wrong spot. I think I've played his already, so I'm gonna skip his. Just because I'm gonna go back and check later, but I think I've already played his. Um, so I'm gonna jump into the third one in my list, which is Alan Eastman. Am I getting the Eastwood? Sorry, I don't know why I always do that. With Agua Dulce. All right, I think this is. I'm assuming this is kind of uh, vaguely Spanish themed. Like I could go look up the. I could go look up the. What do you want to call it? The course thread. But we don't need to do that live on stream. It's fine. We're powering through things. It's good. Dylan built Eastman 5 years ago, and you think that's still stuck in my head? Like that is 100% a possibility. Oh no, that's a bad t-shirt. Let's go. Let's go look at these bunkers. That's right. I did play yours. Awesome. I remembered correctly. Look at me, being a functional human being occasionally. I have not done the greatest job of documenting all the courses I've played so far. But, hoping to get back on top of um, organizing and stuff. So I've got all the courses that are published in the thread. Now I just need to organize them by the ones that I've finished and the ones that I haven't. All right, first start. A little bit of a different environment. I think it's like a solid look so far. I haven't I haven't had any complaints about the golf in first hole or first two holes in. Like nothing leaps out at me too much one way or the other yet. But yeah, looks solid so far. 25 viewers. Why are so many people watching today? Hello everyone. I'm not used to having numbers that high. I guess it helps I'm, probably a little bit more of the European crowd. I'm streaming at a time good for them, and there's not a lot of people streaming golf on a not a Wednesday, Friday afternoon. I think generally I like the rock work. I'd probably sprinkle a little bit of like again, I'd say I'd sprinkle some like shrubs and planting in there to kind of blend it together and maybe hide some of the transition. Like this spot could use a little touch up, but as a whole, I think it looks okay. I suppose it's kind of like a little deserty, sparser kind of planted course in general. Do you wonder where yours would have landed? Not Platt for sure. I mean, you guys are in good company. It's really hard to build courses for Platt these days, and B, there's plenty of people that built kind of much more friendly golf courses than the contest might have called for. Like I think on average, like we're probably going to end up with more courses in Elite or Kinetic than actually on Plat this year out of this contest, which is fair in that it spreads some of those courses around so that all tours get to use stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. It works out okay, at least for the schedulers. Like I don't mind kind of the bumpiness of this course. Like again, in terms of like usually like kind of more rugged stuff like that, but it also just feels a little arbitrary, especially on a hole like this where your preferred landing area gets a little narrow. Like the bumpiness should feel like like a part of the environment. Like I'm all for it when it does, and then but this feels like And again, and this is somebody who's kind of guilty of this sort of stuff as well. Of the, well, I drew out the golf hole, and then I wanted it to be more rugged, so I just added bumps to it afterwards. It kind of feels a little like that. This pin is maybe a bit touchy. It's maybe a little yellow here. Oh, we'll stay. It's not the first borderline pin we've seen in this contest, and it won't be the last, but it's worth noting. But yeah, again, I like the environment on the course so far. I feel like, again, and just for me personally, I feel like when you go like very bumpy for your terrain and your landing areas, you kind of have to counteract that with a little bit of width, so that you're not like if you want really narrow corridors, you have to give the player the ability to hit that corridor and not get their ball ricocheted into the rough randomly. Like, it's a tough line to tread. Like, again, in a major course, like, you want your landing areas to be tough and you want it to be hard to hold fairways. But for me, I don't want it to be left up to, like, arbitrary chance of did I get a good bounce or not. If it's, like, if there's a 30 to 40% chance I hit a perfect shot and it just ricochets into the heavy rough anyways, you know, for me, that's not really a great test of golf. So it's when you go bumpier with your terrain, for me, you have to extend kind of your landing areas accordingly. And for me, even when I do build courses like that, there's always a couple landing areas where I have to, like, I'll do tons of play testing to just make sure that, like, I'm not getting weird bounces that I don't expect. So there's always holes where, like, I might need to flatten a spot in the landing area just to ensure that the spot that the player is trying to hit isn't to land like a secret landmine that's going to shoot them into the rough. Let's see. Yeah, sorry to hear about the major course. That is tough. Thankfully, I have not had too many courses get corrupted over the years, but it has happened. Once is more than enough for me. I have a backup folder on my computer that I'll copy course files into kind of periodically. Now, that only works if you're on PC, so, like, unfortunately, our console friends are kind of out of luck there. That being said, you can always publish, like, betas of it, and that way it is essentially, you're using HB servers to back it up for you. But, you know, you also have to publish it, which, you know, can clutter up kind of your published course folder and whatnot. Alright. Don't dislike this hole. It's got an interesting kind of what do you want to call it? Whole concept. But yeah, I think my complaint on it's a very narrow landing area and it's very bumpy, making it essentially like a little questionable if you could even pull off the aggressive play. Nice. Game's always more fun on PC. Yeah, I think, like, same with that one. It's a little the whole layouts are kind of inviting me to try these aggressive shots, and then I look at the landing area and go like, no, that's way too bumpy. Like, I can't hit that. And so you just, instead of kind of encouraging me to take on danger, a lot of the layout is just telling me it's like you really can't pull it off. So just lay back to the, you know, lay back to the like your layup areas and just call it a day. God, my putting's bad. Well, nobody put me on this contest because of my playing ability. No one's gonna accuse me of being good at this game. Yeah, again, I think the notes are going to be I think pretty much the same throughout most of it. It's just like this whole to me, it's the like the humps and bumps don't really feel like they fit the environment at all. It feels like the hole was built and then you just kind of added the ruffles to the fairway. Like they don't feel like an extension of the environment that the course exists in. And when it's this narrow, it's also just it's one of those of like they don't really feel like they add anything to the golf experience. They don't feel like an extension of the environment. They just kind of feel like they're there for me. And if anything, it's the uncertainty about where your tee shot's gonna go, where it feels like you're playing a little bit of plinko, kind of diminishes for me, like the strategic or like the skill challenge of like, can I pull this shot off? How close can I hit it to that hazard? And if I hit it close to the hazard and don't put it in the hazard, then I would be rewarded. Or I could just get the, yeah, not quite natural looking. I get that's a good way of putting it. Thank you. Like they're not bad. They're just like there's something that's off there. Ooh, did I just plug that? I did just plug that. This will be interesting. Ooh, all right. Well, we're out. That's fine. I think my comments on this are going to be similar to the other two that I've played so far today. It's like I don't have any real like negative things to say about the golf. I feel like I've hit this shot. It's not the same, but I feel like this is very similar to the last the tee shot on 10. So it's like it feels like I've kind of just played this golf hole already, at least off the tee. You know, the green's different, but you know, it feels like a very similar setup in terms of the tee shot to something that we just played. Anyway, so like I don't really have a lot of negative things to say about the golf, but it also doesn't like it doesn't leap out at me either. It's perfectly serviceable golf. It's kind of been the theme for today of like none of all of the golf courses all the golf courses I've played on this session have been good, but I haven't like fallen in love with any of them either. They've all just been like, oh yeah, this is quite solid. Like, you know, like this I could see this getting on tour somewhere. But am I like are they gonna jump out in my memory? Am I gonna remember like you know, like for like previous contests, there's usually like 3 to 5 courses that that'll stand out and that I'll remember from last year's contest without having to like look them up, things like that. And I just like I don't know if any of the ones I play today are gonna be on that short list. It's already been rangered for plat. This one? Yeah, I can see it. You think Heisenberg's major course stands out? I don't think I've played that one yet, so we'll get to it. Yeah, I think the normal comment here of, I mean, the width of where I'm hitting it is not bad, but like these humps and bumps make it like essentially where your landing area is this wide. So, like I'm less challenging the narrows that you have set up, and more just challenging the bumps that are going to knock me into the fairway or the water. Like there's two separate kind of challenges going on that aren't really related to each other, and sometimes they'll like sometimes they'll coincide in an interesting way, and other times they'll kind of counteract what the other one is doing. Hey, Vike. Yeah, again, with the slopes there, I just don't think there's any way that you hit it there and hold it. And, I mean, I can hit a 3-wood there and have a shot in anyways, so I think that's what we do. Actually, it might even be, like, I want to take a little off. You could really get away with a 5-wood there. And then just hit the 3-wood in. But the robots need a challenge on every swing. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I have 100%, like, I think side hill lies and, like, or inconsistent lies is a great way to challenge, like, high-level players in this game. Because they can't really do math for side hill lies, you know? Like, it's something that kind of makes them uncomfortable, and I think it's an interesting and fun way to challenge them. But again, it has to work with your course. It can't be arbitrary. And it feels just a little arbitrary on this one. Like, again, somebody like Ben or Heisenberg, or like tons of great designers do a lot with like side hill lies and you know, awkward cambers and, you know, elevation change and bumps and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, it has to be done well in order for it to shine. And it's not done poorly here. It's functional. I don't think it's as good as it could be. And rather, if you're going to use side hill lies as one of the primary challenges of your course, ooh, that was a bad shot. Then, like, you have to plan for it. It needs to make sense. Am I going to do that again? Nope, we're going to get away with that one. I like the look of this tee shot. This is a nice look. Like, I feel like this is one where, you know, there's a number of good ideas here, like, individually that are good, and then they, like, in some ways, like, some of them clash together, and it makes it, like, almost less than the sum of its parts. I think we're using one of the new buildings here. It's a nice little kind of interesting look for the clubhouse. There's no doors on it, but that's okay. It's, you know, nitpicking. Looks good from the, you know, from the green. Some bad putting. Just a consistent theme throughout the series. Yeah. But anyways, Alan, thank you for the course. It was, you know, it was a solid one. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I think it's already been rangered for plat, so, you know, obviously it fits the difficulty pretty nicely. Should do okay in the contest. But yeah, I think I'm going to do one more today, and then we'll cut it for a bit. But we'll cut this stream here, and we'll catch you back in a couple minutes. Thanks for following along, and we'll catch you later.